maybe I should put on a starting soon stream. Let me get all set up here. Got a microphone somewhere. There we go. All right, starting to get set up here on YouTube. Just give me a minute to get a little bit more organized. Got our Gen 1, our Gen 0 yesterday. Did our summons this morning for Gen 1. We're going to do some giveaways here. What should we do? Give 5 minutes? People to come in after we actually get started. Still wrapping things up, guys. Hang out. Just another about 2 minutes. I think I need to work on my starting stream soon. Starting stream screen. All right. DeFi Kingdoms. One last little thing. What's going on over here? YouTube, where you at? Let me check my volume here. All right, one last little thing. Yep. Sounds good. Oh man, but I'm a little delayed. I meant to fix that up before I started YouTube again. There's a setting for, how are y'all doing? How are y'all doing? There's a setting for the amount of delay between the voice or me actually saying something and before it gets broadcast on the stream. And I wanted to have a little bit lower latency. I don't think I've quite fixed that up yet. How is everyone doing here? While we're waiting for people to come in to chat and say hi, let me take care of that real quick. But then I think we might do a rather quick giveaway just for those people that are getting in here soon. And it's not going to mean anything too massive, but we'll give away something that I've got more than 50 of. What could those items be that I've got more than 50 of? Let's see. DFK 3. Refresh. Take a look at our inventory. I've got more than 50 of a lot of things. Well, one of these things that is more than 50, we'll give some away here in a little bit. Oh, wow. 149 milkweed? Oh, man. I need to hide that real quick. Don't want to be giving away a few items. So the milkweed is something that I'm not too eager to give away, and I got 2,000 of the Gaiateers, so I'll probably be okay with that. But there's a few things like this. The Darkroot, the milk thistle, or milkweed, I'm sorry. Swift thistle, of course, we've only got one of those. And then the shimmer skins. Definitely have been saving those for a little something different. So maybe I should, maybe before I do a giveaway for that, I want to put these into a liquidity pool, which is why I have so many of them right now. I've been holding off on that, so I don't want to include those in my giveaway necessarily. But other than those things for the stamina potion requirements, because I really want to try to focus on creating a few stamina potions and seeing how that goes, at least on one hero, maybe even on one of my Gen 0s, then we'll see. In the meantime, while we're waiting on people to show up, let me come over here to my YouTube channel on another screen, and I'm just going to, let's see, come into my dashboard perhaps, studio. Hey, Mystical Meows. Good to see you back on YouTube. Yeah, I am checking out YouTube a little bit. Apparently most of the DeFi Kingdoms content and creators are here on YouTube. And as I was realizing the other day when we had Carlo from the Waifu Bot creator on my Twitch stream the other day, he actually had to create a new account. He said, I don't have a Twitch account. He created one especially to be on my stream. And it made me realize that it's very possible that if you or a person has not been looking a lot at Twitch in the past, that maybe a lot of people don't have accounts. And that could be a little problematic, perhaps, for new people to join. So I thought, well, let's try YouTube. Also, it's more, or a person like myself is more discoverable on YouTube as well. People could just search for, DeFi Kingdoms or DFK and have a lot greater chance to find me. Twitch is a lot harder to find. You've got to kind of already have a little bit of a community on Twitch, right? And when I was doing Sandbox stuff, there was already a community around Sandbox. So it was real easy for those several hundred people to, jump onto my stream, because we were just sharing users. We were raiding each other, which is, just dumping, when one of us goes off the live stream, we just dump our users into another streamer. But And so it was real easy for me to gain quite a bit of viewers very quickly from that. But here on YouTube, I don't know if you can do that kind of thing. And there's probably not enough people doing live streams on DeFi Kingdoms right now anyway, even here on YouTube, that we could have like a passing of the torch, if you would say. When one of us is done with the stream, we pass it on to the next. Anyway, let me come over to my, I'm just looking at another screen real quick. We're going to be doing a giveaway, and we're just looking at some items that we could give away. But yeah, welcome on in, Mystical Meows. Glad to have you here. Just hang out and relax. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask. So on another screen over here, I'm going to look at my, maybe my general. Looks like it's just talking about setting currency. It's not really what I want. For my basic info, United States, it's got a couple of tags. I've got DFK and NFT gaming and crypto and all that kind of stuff. Let's see. Latency is what I'm really looking for. Feature eligibility. Is there some kind of latency that I could change? No. Advanced settings. Don't see that there. Upload defaults. So I've got some defaults that doesn't really matter for this. Community. I don't see anything in there either as far as latency goes. And that's all that we've got underneath those settings. Under dashboard, I don't particularly see a way to change latency either. Let's check out OBS here real quick. Oops. Didn't want to. Oh, I need to get off the, there we go. Mystical Meows, you didn't say I was on my starting stream. I think I tended to get off of that. So anyway, here we are at the stuff for the giveaway. I will be giving away some of these items a little bit later. And while we're waiting on this, let's take a look at my OBS and my settings for that. Let's come to File, Settings, Stream, and then maybe Output. We've got, there's enable replay buffer. How about video? Advanced. Stream delay. We are at no delay here in OBS. But I do seem to remember that somewhere YouTube specifically had a section for latency. Maybe it's under the general section. Let's see, snapping to some kind of source alignment. Don't care about that. Projectors, system trays, previews. Importer studio modes, multi-view. All right. Stream. I don't think anything's in there. Output, recording path, looks fine. Okay. So, again, I have a feeling that it is going to be under a YouTube setting somewhere. Let's take a look at the stream itself. added delay. It says none. All right. Oh, then I have low latency. So, Mystical Meows, are you still there? Can you still hear me? That is a long delay. I think I've counted up to 30. I'm pulled out a stopwatch so I can do this. Yes, you can. Okay, so that was a super long delay. I'm going to switch over to low latency. Let's see if that helps out at all. Does not support closed caption and all that kind of stuff. That should be fine. Stream settings. Okay, so I switched to low latency now. Analytics, stream health. All right, so I think that's probably going to be good. I'm not sure if that's going to affect this stream or not. Tell you what, can I? No, it's not up there. Live chat is, I think, something else I want to make sure that I'm looking at. Yeah, you can hear me fine, but there's a massive time delay from when I say something to when you actually see it there. And so if I say, all right, quick guys, what's your favorite color? Then what has to happen after you hear that, or I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and if it takes 30 seconds before y'all hear it yourselves to respond, that's too much of a delay, right? Yeah, see, I'm listening to a little bit of my own stream off on the side, and right now, just that it's been that long, and I finally heard myself say, "All right, guys, let's, what's your favorite color?" And so that was a long time to wait in between there, between when I actually said it and when I heard it come out on the live stream, and that's what I'd kind of like to avoid. That way, we don't need to wait so long. It's a little bit more interactive. Blue is your favorite color. Oh, interesting. Blue's one of my favorite colors too. It's hard to say if it is my favorite color, but I definitely am very strong for blue. All right. What else can I do here to make sure? Let's check under some other settings. Do we have latency under a different set of settings? I don't see that. Let me check another place here on this other screen. Output. Yeah, this has turned into a slight diagnostic tutorial here. Green. I wouldn't say green is my favorite either, but you're absolutely right. I mean, I love green for plants and all that kind of stuff. Green, lush trees, and man, I've seen some beautiful green, lush environments. And I think that's what I'm saying is I'm not sure of my favorite color because blue is a really good color. I like that a lot for things. But I wear quite a bit of black. When I do certain things, like I had a somewhat fancy car that was red, and attention grabbing a little bit or something. So I guess I have different colors that are my favorite for different types of things, right? And I don't have a overall specific great color. Like I wouldn't necessarily want to see blue trees. That could be pretty, I guess. Not necessarily sure that I would get a blue car over a red car, although I do like blue. But I also would prefer to probably wear a blue shirt over a bright red shirt. Although if it was muted, maybe red, maybe kind of a mauve or something. Anyway, enough talk about that. A rainbow, gray, black, nice. Yeah. I do have a couple of clothes that are very colorful, a couple of pieces of clothes that are very colorful. Anyway, let me try to find what I'm trying to look for here, and that is how to get y'all not so much delay. Let's see, red cars attract cops. You know, there was a study done about that, and you're right in that red cars used to attract cops quite a bit more. But apparently, maybe more recent, and red is attractive to a lot of people in general, right? But I guess there was something that happened some time ago where maybe that piece of information and psychology was passed along to cops. And so apparently since then, there is, I guess because cops are trained and aware that that is a natural human response, that it seems that red cars do not attract so much attention anymore. In fact, for 10 years, I had this sporty looking little red car, and I usually go, 10 miles over the speed limit down most highways and stuff, trying to get there faster. Never got a speeding ticket, right? When, of course, other people would potentially get pulled over and so on. I'm not saying that that's necessarily great or that anyone else should risk it. But I did notice that it seemed that even with the red sporty looking car, I was never hassled by the cops. Right? But when I've had other cars, I shouldn't say it's not like I've gotten a lot of tickets in my life, but I did notice that when I was driving a blue minivan for a couple of times, I was driving back and forth to Houston for a class that I was teaching as an example, and I got pulled over for speeding there, and it was in a blue minivan as opposed to the red sporty car that I had also. Anyway, it's interesting. But you are right. Red cars generally do attract more attention, and of course that's not good when you're trying to not get pulled over a lot, right? I think white vans are something that might get pulled over the least, right? As long as it looks like a utility type of van, utility vehicle, either a city utility van or something like that. All right, but we're certainly not talking about a lot of DeFi Kingdom stuff in the stream, are we? Okay, tell you what, let's get on to a more proper DeFi Kingdoms topic, and I'll just figure out the delay a little bit later. But we don't want to have any of the people looking for DeFi Kingdoms come in and we're all way off on topic. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do here is get the ingredients for the stamina potions out of my inventory here and into a liquidity pool, because I want to be doing some giveaways, and I want to just offer things like anything that I have over 50 items we're going to give away. And there's some things that I don't want to include in that, so we're just going to kind of move things around a little bit. So the Darkweed is one thing that would be used for stamina potions. In fact, let's make a couple of stamina potions right now, and let's just see what the costs are for that. I think I've made one or two in the past. It's never been a big interest of mine. So let me pull up my spreadsheet here. And somewhere on this spreadsheet, I've got some information about stamina potions. And so for stamina potions, we're going to need one of these shimmer skins over here. We're going to need one of these swift. It looks like we're only going to be able to make one stamina potion anyway. Yikes, I've only got one swift thistle. I know that this is one of the things that is not very common to get. But I've got 149 milkweed that's used, 288 darkweed that can be used for that as well, 96 shimmer skin. Some of these items are pretty popular. Don't get me into white vans. Oh, really? You mean don't put you in a white van, or don't get you started talking about white vans? Is that a bad subject for you? Should I make sure I avoid that topic? All right, so let's make one stamina potion just so we can. We're going to come to the, oops, I don't even know if I can. I have 0 gold right now, and it will take 2,000 gold. So let's first jump into the trader. Marketplace, and I started talking. Okay. Let's see. The child predator stuff. Yeah. We want to convert some of our crystal into gold. DFK gold. Where is it? DFK gold. Interesting. Oh, it's because I have 0. It's all the way down at the bottom. I was like, where is that thing? All right, so let's go ahead and just do like maybe 2 crystals worth. It's going to be 4,000 gold, which is okay. How about just 1 crystal worth? We're only going to need 2,000 gold, so there's no sense in having too much extra gold at the moment. And we're going to go ahead and swap that. Gas looks good, so we're going to go ahead and confirm. We don't need to add gold to MetaMask, that's fine. Okay, now that we have this, let's come over to the Alchemist. And let's start crafting. We're going to work on a stamina vial. We also could do a mana, and we can do a health vial. There are other things here that we could do as well. Magic resistance, full mana potions, toughness potion, a bunch of other things. There's anti-blinding, anti-poison, and so on. Hopefully there will be more of these items that we can craft soon, but for now we're looking for the stamina potion. And so here we can see that we're going to need, we've got 96, and we need 1 of these shimmer skins. We have 1 and we need 1 of the swift thistle, and so on right here, right? So first I'm going to need to approve each of these contracts. Again, why, you know, you're talking about something that was brought up a little while ago. I don't want to talk too negatively, I guess, but there was something mentioned earlier about blockchain games and how we can make a user experience a little bit better. Do we really need for the user experience to be to approve each one of these individual items one at a time? Or can't there be a way that we can just have one click of a button and say, approve all the items for crafting a stamina potion, or just approve all the items approve DeFi Kingdoms to work on all of the DeFi Kingdoms assets. I mean, that's what I would say. I would say almost anything that I'm going to do in DeFi Kingdoms, or this DeFi Kingdoms program is going to want to allow, I'm probably going to want to be approving that. So give me just one button and I'll approve it. I'll approve it all. But going through each one of these things and approving them one at a time, this is not a good user experience. Plus, with blockchain games, I clicked it. Now we have to wait. And wait. And wait. I guess I could try to, but I'm a little hesitant to try to do multiples of these at a time. But we could try to approve that one. We could get in here and approve that one. I guess this could be a little bit better. But if one of these sticks for some reason, then that could hold back. Let's check to make sure we've got enough gas for things. See 0.96. We're not super rich on gas money right here, but that's fine. It will be enough to approve the rest of these. And then we can do another conversion of something in a little bit. Approve the Gaia tiers. Approve the milkweed. Approve the gold. Yeah, I'd like one button as a good user interface. All right. While that is finishing up, I'm going to also pop over here to the marketplace, into the trader, and I'm going to grab, so I've got 135 crystal. Let's go and do two crystals into Jewel here. And that should give me plenty of gas money to play around with for a little while. Adding Jewel to MetaMask. I think it's already done, but I'll just double check this. Action edit tokens. Yeah, already added. All right, so let's get back over to the Alchemist. Now that we've approved everything, start crafting. Stamina vial. Everything is approved. So let us add, or I guess we don't need to add, they're already taken. And we can make one. And I think that is all that I can make because I've only got one of these Swift Thistles. So it's one Shimmer Skin. I'm just going to double check my previous calculations. One Swift Thistle, 2 Darkweeds, 2 Spider Fruits, 2 Milkweeds, 10 Gaia Tears, 2,000 gold. That is correct. And we're going to say craft. So we have a contract interaction there. Costs a little bit of gas money that we might just be aware of. And then we crafted a stamina vial. Coming back over to the inventory, we should see now that we've got, well, as soon as this gets updated, perhaps. There we go. So it looks like we have our stamina vial right there. A quick pick-me-up in a convenient single-serving bottle energizes a hero, restoring 25 stamina instantaneously. So then we can send them out on a quest again right away. And that is kind of what I want to look at. So the next thing that I want to do is, let's see, of course, I needed all those ingredients, but I don't have any more Swift Thistle. So here is the issue. Do I come over to the marketplace, coming into the trader and saying, I would like to buy a stamina potion. DFK stamina. Oops, what? Am I doing something wrong here? Not sure what was going on there a minute ago. We're not able to buy those through trade here. Is that what I'm seeing? What's going on? The vendor should have some things in here sometimes. I see that there's a lot of swift thistle right here. I see some gold eggs, but you know what I don't see? There's just a few items there. I could sell my items, but usually it's not good to sell stuff at the vendor. You can get better prices at the trader generally. But somebody did give me a link not too long ago. Maybe it's here. DFK Market. Let's check this out just to be real thorough. Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms market data right here. I think this is the link that we want to take a look at. Yeah. So what this is going to show you is the current jewel price and crystal price. We can see then for gold, gold vein, silver fin, swift thistle as an example here, category it's in foraging. And then we can see a little bit more about the trend, if it's a slightly downtrend or a very hard downtrend or flat or up or strong up. The information about it at the trader, whether it's a change in percentage, the value of it right there, a trend for it, and then also the vendor. So here's some information about the vendor for it as well, right? And so you can kind of get a good idea for how much those items cost. Looks like this just has vendor in, oh, there it is, Crystal Veil, CV. So right here, if we're picking up gold vein from the vendor, it looks like it's going to be 0.01 US dollars, just about 1 cent, or 0.04 crystal there. And then if we go to the trader, 0.012 and 0.05, so a little bit more expensive at the trader for that gold vein, right? And then we can kind of see for each of those different items what the values are. But this is what I kind of want to look at right here is the stamina vials. It looks like at the trader, there should be something there. And here under the vendor, we don't see anything, which is what we saw a minute ago. They just weren't at the vendor. But stamina vials at the trader are going to be, looks like 38 cents. Let me write this down, or I'm going to put it on, I think I need to write it down on a sheet first. So we've got USD is 38.7 cents. And then the gold for stamina vial is 3,320.35 if we want to get that detailed. And the crystal is 1.636 crystal. All right. I kind of want to verify that first. I didn't see anything here. Am I spelling it wrong? Oh, man. What am I not doing correctly there? DFK stamina potion. Stam pot. In Crystal Veil against crystals. I mean, there should be liquidity there. Look at that. Stamina potions look like they have really risen. This is showing the value of crystal compared to stamina potions. Crystal value has dropped. So what we really want to do is we want to invert that pair to look at what stamina potions have been doing. And here, stamina potions have been dropping in value, US dollar value. But if we compare it to crystal, oh, it's been dropping compared to crystal also. Okay. Interesting. So what was I seeing over here with it inverted? Oh, maybe I was looking at some other chart a minute ago. Yeah. So stamina potions themselves have been lowering in price recently. And actually for a while now. That's good. I'm glad to see that. So stamina potions themselves DFK, STMN, PTN. And those US dollars, price in US dollars for stamina potions, looks like it's 38.5 cents. Is that right? That can't be right. What am I looking at here? Sometimes I like to find it in here. One stamina potion had been 43 cents back a while ago. 5 stamina potions. This should say it's about 38 cents each. Okay. So, is that right? Oh no, we're looking at this. Oh, that is US dollars. I don't know. Something seems a little strange with that. I think, at least according to other calculations, this should be more expensive. I mean, it's good if it's only 38 cents each. And that's US dollars. And when compared to crystal token, then it's going to be 1.6343 crystal. And we could look at gold versus stamina potions as well. Let's open up another window or tab for that. And DFK stamina potions compared to gold here. We want to be looking at the DFK chain, stamina potions compared to gold. Stamina potions compared to gold. And not in the price of USD, but in the price of gold. So we're going to switch there. And that means we have 33 or 3,433.67. All right. Now what this is telling me right here is if we try to compare it to the DEX screener, the DEX screener was showing 38.79 cents. That's pretty much what we saw on the other screen as well. This one over here, we saw that in this screen. We also saw, according to the Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms, that it was 3,320 gold, whereas DEX screener showing 3,433, and maybe that's just the price of a spike or difference of a spike or something like that going on somewhere. Here also, by the way, 3,300 is right here. 3,320 is right down here at this level. And this is 3,400. So just the jump between here and here could certainly be the difference that we were seeing from those two things. And then the price in crystal was 1.636 versus 1.634, which again was probably just the difference in this little bit of a spike right there too. So I'm going to assume that DEX screener and Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms app is pretty accurate as far as that goes. The only thing that I'm a little concerned about is I'm not seeing stamina potions here at all. Does that mean that we just can't buy any through the trader? Here, let's check. Tell you what, let's select, scroll down. Interesting. So it looks like for some reason the trader does not allow us to trade stamina potions. I was not aware of that. And we do have one. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to do was look at the ingredients for them to see how much it would cost. I think somewhere, and there's a place called Fox Swap as well. And I haven't gotten into there too much. I'm a little concerned about just clicking on various links. I don't know if I want to be connecting wallets as a good example. But to something that I think this is probably it, but I don't know, so I don't want to click anything. And can I choose some of these things without actually connecting my wallet? I'm not sure if I can. But there's a place, Fox Swap, that generally allows you to trade all kinds of things that you might not normally be able to trade through the game. Things like locked balances even, and some other stuff. So somewhere, obviously, you can trade stamina potions for gold, because of course it's on the DEX screener right here. Stamina potion for crystal, stamina potion for gold. I think I'm going to need to find out where those things are, because obviously they're not in the trader. But that's not the biggest thing that I was trying to do today. One of the other big things I wanted to do was look at the price of making our own versus buying one outright. So if we take a look at all of the individual prices for these smaller items right now, let's come back into the trader and let's take a look at USDC as an example, my first example. And then let's say that we wanted to get Shimmer Skin. Right here. And if we wanted to get one of those, it's going to cost us... Oh man, these prices have... Was I doing the right thing earlier? I've got a note here. Did Shimmer Skins used to be 40 cents each? That just seems outrageously high at the moment, considering now they're like 8 cents. Let's check this out real quick. DFK Shimmer Skins compared to... Was there ever a USDC value for them at all? Let me make sure to narrow down on this just a little bit. SHIM. All right, so we've got it versus crystal, jewel, gold, and USDC. Okay. And there's not a lot of history. Is that what I'm seeing? Only just since August something? All right. I'm not really sure what to say about that. I can't go back far enough, or very far at all. Let's try another item. What about the Darkweed? There should be a bit of that out there. DFK Darkweed. Compared to USDC on Crystal Veil. And again, I guess there's just not a lot of liquidity. That's fine. Let's check out the price in gold then. Let's take a look at Shimmer Skins first. In the priced in gold. And if we scroll back a certain amount, also something else that I might want to do is check out DFK Gold. Is going to be how much USDC. So it's $8,413. 1 USDC, put this on my other screen, is 8413.59 DFK Gold. And so as I start to work with these other items, if we wanted to get a Shimmer Skin, one of those in gold, it's going to be 71.294 gold. And if we say 8413.59 divided by that 71, oops, it's not quite the right way to do it. My errors. Can't type. Okay. So it looks like we're looking at about 8 cents for that. All right. Let's go ahead and look up the other things then. If we want to have Swift Thistle, see, this is the one where there's just not a lot out there. It's like there's no Swift Thistle on the market right now. That's problematic. Oh, there's some. Is that really? But that's a lot, isn't it? 525.037. All right. Equals, let's see, C, oops, J, 18. Working on my spreadsheet over here. J18 divided by L18. Which means that that's going to be about, oh, I'm sorry. The shimmer skin was not 8 cents, it's 0.8 of a cent. The Swift Thistle is 6 cents. And let's copy and paste a couple of other things. So now we're looking at Darkweed. Let's get my spreadsheet a little bit more set up. DFK Darkweed. That is going to be 9.882, which means that we're looking at 1/10 of 1 penny. But there'll actually be 2 of them, won't there? So 2/10, I guess, for that. Spider fruit. You're looking at 17.039. So each one of those is going to be 2/10 of a penny or 4/10 for the 2 that you're going to need. And milk thistle, this one's going to be a little bit more expensive, but not a lot again. I mean, milk thistle, milkweed. That's what I meant to say. Again, 220.359. So 2.5 cents for that. 10 Gaia tiers, I think, is super cheap. And each one of those is only 3.278. So that is 3/100ths of a penny, almost 4/100ths. And then 200 gold or I'm sorry, 2,000 gold is going to be about 23 cents, almost 24 cents. So let's add all those up. Equals sum of K17 through K23. Let me just, yeah, that's it. So you're talking almost 34 cents for that stamina potion if you make it yourself. 34 cents. And supposedly somewhere, if you try to buy it, the deck screener was showing that, and the Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms was showing that here. The stamina potion, if you look at this, it shows 55 cents right here. Apparently on Serendale, which you can't buy from. Over here, it's 38 cents, trader at Crystal Vale. But I'm not seeing that you can buy it at all. If you make it yourself, you're spending about 34 cents. And I guess there's a little bit of cost in gas fees, right? I'm not sure. I think it's negligible, the fractions of pennies that you're paying. But then again, well, you probably don't need to buy gold or Gaia tiers unless you're, oh man, I guess if you're doing a ton of stamina potions. Something that we were looking at a little bit earlier was stamina potions, or not stamina potions, but we were looking at the price of, or the cost, I suppose, for leveling up a hero as far as how much time it's going to take and the amount of experience you're going to need to go up those levels. And if you need 1,000 experience, tell you what, let me you need 1,000 experience to go up. I'm sorry, 2,000 experience to go up to the first level, 3,000 to go up to the next level, 4,000 to go up to the next level. Level 1, level 2, level 3 needs those amounts. And if you're gaining about 100 experience, P18 divided by 100, then you're going to need 20, 30, and 40 quests, or 20 and 30 and 40 you're going to need 20 quests. And if each quest is going to be 25 stamina, that's also number of quests, also the stamina potions. Because each stamina potion will raise you up to 25 stamina, which then you can immediately go on another quest. So for every raise, you're going to need that. So 20 quests, 20 stamina potions. That means to get up to level 2, you're going to need 20. Level 3, you're going to need 30. Level 4, you're going to need 40 of those stamina potions. And all of a sudden, you're looking at about 90 stamina potions to get up to level 4. And if those stamina potions are costing, let me delete some of this other stuff here. If those stamina potions are costing, what did we say? 34 cents each. Should be doing this on the spreadsheet, but I guess I'll show this a little bit here. 34 cents each times 90 stamina potions to get up to level 4. You're talking about $30, 30 US dollars spent. And that's not including the gas. And that's also, by the way, not including the runes that you would need to level, or the other types of things that you might need to level as well. The little bit of crystal that you're going to need, if you're going to be using an attunement crystal as well with each of those levels. Right? So just the stamina potions themselves will cost $30 to get you up to level 4. And this is where I started to say, you know what? It's not that big of a deal to use stamina potions, because level 4 is not that big of a deal. Although, maybe it should be somewhat of a big deal, because if even the bot is going to only be able to send out some of your heroes on quests twice a day, equals Q18 divided by 2. It's still going to take you 10 days to get up to level 2, 15 more days to get up to level 3, and 20 more days to get up to level 4. So you're still looking at 45 days or $30. So which would you rather do? Would you rather take 45 days to get up to level 4, or would you rather pay $30 and have it today? Right? That's a little bit tougher of a question to answer. I'm not sure if I would even have the same answer myself all the time. I kind of want to play around with stamina potions a little bit, just to get some experience with how they are. But as I look at this, still, for me to spend $30 just to get up to level 4, of course, I'm saving myself, even myself with the bot, I'm still saving myself 45 days, I think. Right? Okay. Let's take a look at something else over here. Stamina potions. $0.33 each. Of course, most of that comes from the gold. 23 cents of that comes from the gold itself right now. 2,000 gold. If you don't have gold, so let's also look at this as compared to crystal. Let's do a total for gold on another little area. Let me highlight something here. And here we're going to say equals sum of those items. which is 2,846 gold. $2,846.889 gold is how many crystals? See, it's only 1.4 crystal. Hold on, that's not right. Oh, yeah, it is. That's right. And then if we're going to need 90 of those, right? And in US dollars worth, it is going to be about 33, 34 cents, right? But if we take a look at it as far as crystal goes, it's only 1.41 crystal. And if you are gaining, let's say that you're gaining 5 crystal a day, or maybe even more, but let's say 5 crystal a day, then you could probably do about 4, maybe if you're gaining a little bit more, you might be able to do 4 stamina potions a day. And so even though you would not be able to go up from level 1 to 4 in a single day, unless you're going to pay quite a bit, you could take your daily earnings from the gardens, let's say, and from that crystal that you're earning, set some of that aside, maybe, 5.5 crystal or something like that, or enough for 5 stamina potions, or 4 stamina potions every day. And then just 4 times or each day, just run through 4 stamina potions and get yourself 100 stamina addition, right? Additional 100 stamina, which just in general will speed your level up. Just adding an extra 100 stamina a day, or being able to do that many more quests. But that would really only be for training quests, right? You wouldn't want to actually go to the professions quests and wait 4 hours for mining or gardening or something. You'd want to send those guys off to the profession quests. I mean, the training quests. Let's take a quick look over here. For my account with the heroes in it, 27,000 gold is sitting over there, and 11 crystal. We could buy a decent amount right there, not 90, but some. Then we could work towards leveling up one of our Gen 0s, right? One that we feel we might use a little bit more often, like Galena. Pretty awesome, but she's only level 3 right now. Let's check out some of her stats. So she's got an 18 right there. Have I set anything up for Galena to level up in my auto level up stuff? Let's just take a look real quick. Since we just bought her the other day, might not have a level up information. So what we need to do is we need to look at my downloads directory and into this directory. I guess we can pull this over to here. This is for the waifu bot. We talked about that on one of the videos a couple of days ago. Had an interview, not really an interview, but Carlo came in chat. He's the developer for that, and chatted about the bot a little bit. Let's see. But what we want to do is check out level up specs and scroll down. Do I have a level up spec? No, I do not. For Galena. No, I don't. So I think we should work on that pretty soon as well, right? In fact, let's go ahead and do that right now. So Galena is a Berserker miner. And in general, Berserkers, right here, just the general stuff, information that I have, say that their primary is going to be a strength, 80. Then they have their secondary stat, vitality, and then endurance and dexterity. There's a third tier, I guess. Both of those are equal at 60. So you could toss one or the other back and forth on that if you wanted that to be a third stat to look at. Mining is really the only profession that they are fairly decent at. The others are a little bit lower than what I'd like. So we're only going to use a mite crystal with the mining berserkers, and so she would fall into this category if we just let her do her own thing anyway. Is that what we want? We certainly want, as a Gen 0, we certainly want to take this as a template to use, but we definitely want to give, let's see, where are we going to stick this? Right in here. I think we definitely want to give her her own line up here with the other Gen 0s. So Galena, #, Control V, a Gen 0 Berserker wizard with mining. Pretty good miner. Pretty good Gen 0 overall. And then she is number 81. Okay. Do we want to focus mostly on strength? That would be a massively high strength overall at the end to focus, and with a mite crystal thrown on top of that. So we're talking about having super elevated strength for her is what we would really be looking like. There was a video, like a debate video that Crypto Grady had fairly recently, talking to Mosh Zabu and oh my goodness, who was the third person? Tip of my tongue, just can't say it out loud here. It'll come to me when I'm not trying to think about it. Oh man, there's an S in there. One of the words, two words. One of them starts with an S. Anyway, we'll think about it in just a minute. It had a debate type of thing going on fairly recently, and they had some really good information. I think very good snippets, gold nuggets of information about heroes and abilities and PvP and leveling up heroes and all this other kind of stuff. I learned a few things there. I've never really given a whole lot of thought to PvP and leveling up my heroes. I do have some ideas on my own already, but they definitely have a lot deeper insight to this stuff than I've even started to give thought to. Although some things I've heard through the grapevine already, but they had some new information too. So I would strongly encourage, if you haven't watched that video, to go watch it. I think it's on CryptoGrady's, one of CryptoGrady's live videos recently. But the idea is, or one of the things that crossed my mind a little while back, as far as trying to get the heroes leveled up, quote, properly or better, some strategy, was going to be that even though strength is the primary stat, and that we have a growth of 80% on there already, do we really want to be adding a might crystal that's just going to jack up strength even more? In other words, the thought process is, or was for me, and also somewhat confirmed on the video that they had, is maybe you want to have that attunement crystal set to a secondary, like endurance or vitality or something like that, where you can add a little bit of an extra bonus here to kind of balance these out a little bit, so you don't end up getting into combat with a massively jacked up single stat and everything else is underwhelming, right? I think one of them gave a good analogy. Maybe it was Mosh that gave a good analogy or something. Like, you don't want a super beefy right arm to give a big right hook, but then you can't, you're so weak in your defense that you can't even take one hit yourself, right? And so you'd want your dexterity or agility or some kind of defensive stats to be fairly high also. So you not only have a good attack, but you also have a good defense. And it's very interesting how that could go. And of course, here with PvP being, not PvP, with the game itself being so far away, I can't see this game coming out anytime, at least until next year. Might even be longer than that for a full-blown game, unless they really get on the ball and maybe even hire out the work to do from someone else. But whatever the case is, it's going to be a while, is what I'm getting at. And we don't really know what to expect, and we don't really know how to level up our heroes right now, but we still are right now. We're leveling up our heroes, and we don't even have a full picture of what the game is going to be like. So the problem that I think many of us are having, and that they were seeming to indicate themselves slightly, they're doing speculation, of course, and they have, I think, pretty good insight. I would trust everything that they're saying. But nobody has a crystal ball, and we don't know for sure how things are going to turn out. So would it be more helpful to have specific pieces that are totally buffed out in very narrow stats? Or would it be better to have a more generic, spread out approach where you might have 3 or 4 stats that are pretty high, but not absolutely maxed, but you've got 4 pretty high stats that are important? And that could be pretty good, right? I think a lot of that also depends on, are you taking, and in my particular case, am I taking this Gen0 into combat, into PvP? And I might, I suppose, as long as I wouldn't have a chance to lose it, right? I'm not sure that I'm going to be really good at the PvP, or at least leveling up to have really great PvP. And one of the things that I'm looking at right here at the moment is, if I want to try some stamina potions on this Gen0 here, maybe a Gen0 is not the place to experiment with stamina potions. Got to think about that too. But one of the things that I'm thinking about is I really want to get her up to level 10 as quickly as I can, because she is definitely going to be used for summoning, right? And to have a level 10 when you're summoning means you can throw on more Gaia tiers and have extra bonuses to all of the heroes that this one summons. But I don't think I want to wait 3 or 4 months or longer to get this one up to level 10 if I'm not going to be using stamina potions. It's going to take a long time. So I'm thinking I want to use stamina potions. And if I'm going to be using stamina potions, it's really no sense in sending her mining, which takes a 4-hour quest. Of course, that does mean that I could level her up every 4 hours. And maybe I would want to do that, at least until she's mining level 10. That would slow down the expense of buying stamina potions. Rather than having to buy like 100 and trying to run through there, I could buy like 4 a day, or have 4 stamina potions in a 24-hour period, or 6. And just send her on a 4-hour quest, and when she's done, then use a stam potion again right away, and immediately send her on another 4-hour quest. And so every 4 hours, I'd use a stamina potion and send her right back out. Stamina potion, send her right back out. Right? And then that way, I could probably send her 6 times, 5 or 6 times a day. Use 5 or 6 stamina potions a day. And eventually get her up to a level 10 more quickly, rather than taking months. Maybe it would take a couple of weeks. I think that's going to be a strategy. I think that's going to be the strategy there. All right. And also then, once I get to level 10 in mining, and once she has about a 25 strength, and here's where I was getting at for the leveling up and using a might crystal, is if I can get her to a strength of 25 or 30 fairly quickly, she'll do a lot better at the training quests, and then I can get her off of this 4-hour questing and send her over to training quests, which can be done in just a matter of a minute or 2. But that would mean the stamina potions get used a lot more. It'd be a lot more expense, but it also means that we could get from level 5, somewhere around level 5 or level 6, all the way up to level 10 much quicker. And I feel that getting from level 7 to level 10 is going to be excruciatingly painful emotionally as I wait for those long stretches of experience. Many thousands of experience to go between each level to get up to level 8, 9, 10. But we'd be able to do it faster if we got her up to a pretty high strength, and then she's able to win a lot of those training quests more often, which also means more XP faster as well. And of course, greater gold, which we're going to need 2,000 gold for every stamina potion that we're using. So it would be good to get more gold to help fund that. So I think that's our goal right there. And in that case, all of that discussion was just to go ahead and say that yes, for Galena, we do want to focus on strength as the primary and a lesser might crystal to really jack up her strength, at least for the first few levels. Later on, I know that a lot of people are saying, hey, on the first few levels, you should really work on vitality, so they have a lot higher vitality. I'm not necessarily sure that I'm going to take her out to PvP necessarily. I don't feel like I might do a good enough job at leveling her up as well as some of these other guys are talking about leveling up their heroes, and the amount of time and very specific attention they're giving to these heroes. In a way, I kind of feel like I'm not going to make a very good what's the word that I want to use here? Custodian, I guess, of some of these heroes. Going to level them up probably, I don't want to say fairly poorly, but certainly not optimal. But for the first, or for the next few levels, I do think strength and lesser might crystal to really jack up her strength so she can do much better at the strength training quests is the route that I'm going to go. Yes, indeed. Something else that I want to throw out here as well is I had another hero recently. Let's see if I can find it. Let's do levels ascending. Ingar. This was the warrior miner that we just summoned the other day. Generation 1, level 1, warrior. Unfortunately, it turned out to be a common, but that's okay. And a miner, right? So we summoned this not too long ago. Yes, day before yesterday, I think it was. 450 or 60 experience points out of 2,000. So like I said, without stamina potions, it's still going to be about 10 days. Maybe 9 more at this point. So I guess this was a couple of days ago. And that is a warrior miner. And if we take a look at my information here for warriors miners, then they are also getting a strength, dex, endurance with the lesser might crystal, which is going to be pretty good, I guess. So we should be seeing much higher strength come out of there. I think that used to be a 75 or something. I think I used pretty sure I used a stone on this one as well. All right. So I did want to make sure to get a new entry up in here for Galena. Let's go ahead and save that file. Okay. Then, what else did we want to do over here? And a couple of things I wanted to do. Checking the price on those, getting a stamina potion. I guess we're going to use that at some point here. I think also Galena's on a quest with somebody. Mining. Let's see what's going on there a little bit more closely. Active quests? What? No active quests? Of course there are some active quests. Refresh that page. There we go. Gardening, crystal mining. Are we here? There we go. There we are. 3.5 hours to go for that. And I think I've got 18 miners here. 3 sets of 6. Let's just double check. Let's reset that just to be sure it's all cleaned out. Mining, apply. Oh, I've got 19 heroes. Okay. So that's good in a way, because I was going to take Galena out to have her do a few other things. Maybe on another account. She can work on something else. Especially if I'm going to be trying to use 4 or 6 stamp pots a day between mining ventures. She can go by herself on another account, and then that doesn't have a bot attached to it. And then when she's done, I'll level her up, or not level her up, but I'll give her a stam potion, send her back out again manually. And I think that's what we're going to do. So in 3.5 hours, I'm going to set my alarm. Tell you what, let's just double check a little bit more specifically. 3.5 hours looks good. Exactly. And that's going to be something like 7:15 or 7:20. We'll just set an alarm. $7:20. Should be good enough. Alarm set for 3 hours and 30 minutes from now. Good deal. So then at that time, I'll come in, I will move over Galena, and we'll start doing stamp pots on the other account. I do have a couple of stamina potions here, I think. No, just health and mana. No stamina. Do I care about that? Health and mana potions probably don't need to be on this account. Maybe I do want to look a little bit more about moving those over. Doing some kind of automated transfer for those. All right. Coming back over here to the account where we will be using the stam potions, and also where we're going to be sending her mining. Do I have any locked balance? No, I didn't think I did. So there's no locked balance on this account at all for her to mine against. So we're probably just going to send her gold mining. And then using a stamina potion. All right. The other thing is maybe I need to talk to somebody about why I'm not seeing stamina potions here. I can't tell if it's just because there's no liquidity, which it seems that there is liquidity, or if there's something else going on that we're not able to sell or buy stamina potions through the trader, which seems a little weird. So we can do that right now as a collective group. Although, is this my Discord? Yeah. Let's see. DFK's Discord, of course, lots of great help and advice in there. Is it possible to buy stamina potions using the CV trader? I'm not seeing them. Briandana, hey. I see you. We're chatting in here. You're usually on my streams. Christo Meme. Saw you chatting with you the other day as well. Always lots of good stuff to read here. Briandana says, took a few months off and trying to catch up with things quickly. Thought I bridged my gold from Serendale to Crystal Vale. It's no longer showing in my Serendale inventory and nothing on Crystal Vale yet. But still shows in my wallet on Harmony. Still shows in your wallet on Harmony. You're saying you did a bridge. But it's not showing in your inventory. Nothing on Crystal Vale. Interesting. Bridges can sometimes take a little bit of time, I guess would be my thing. How long have you waited? So Boo says, have to enter the contract address and probably refresh if it don't load. Okay. I was banging my head just now. Thanks. Let's see if I can do that. I've never done anything like that before. Let's check Crystal Vale contracts and look at Crystal Vale contracts for stamina potions, I guess. This right here. Can I didn't even know you could do this. Still don't know if you can do this. For selecting token, or paste address. So that thing right there. Learn something new every day. Yep. All right. So we can find the address for the stamina potions, paste it into a place where we can select the potions, import that. Unknown source. Anyone can create tokens. That's why you always only want to go from the DeFi Kingdoms Discord page. I understand. Import. Okay. There we go. So if we look at this in US dollar value, 38 cents directly, and I saw that we could create our own from scratch for 34 cents, right? So it would be also something with this. Let's just take a closer look. Here, it looks like it's going from USDC to Crystal to then Stamina Potions. So we might technically get a slightly better deal just ourselves going directly from Crystal to Stamina Potions. 1.6069 is how many USD of value. Whoops. Stamina Potions again. And we want Crystal 1.606 into US dollar amounts. Yeah, it's still 38 cents. And if we just bought all the materials, looks like we can probably get away with it for 34 cents. So 4 cents per stamina. If you're talking about 90 of them just to get you up to level 4, then that could be fairly substantial, right? Thanks, that worked. Let's go ahead and say that here. General discussion. Thanks. Importing from the contract did work fine. And then Matoya comes up with this wall of text. Sometimes I wonder if it's based on keywords that are spoken here. I think I can get rid of that stuff now over there. Oh, I think current price is 38 USD and crafting is 34 USD, if I'm right. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm reading the whole thing wrong. Sabu would definitely be someone who knows. Hero level up strategies. Fantastic info. Not sure now, but it was under when I checked ADFK site items. Gotcha. Yep. I was just doing a little price comparison myself. All right. Anyway, like I said, lots of really good information through the DeFi Kingdoms Discord. Lots of great people. If you're not doing a lot of stuff there, absolutely that would be one place to connect to. And of course, then even Zabu here is referring to the Adventures in DeFi Kingdom item sale, which is what we have over here when we're looking at this page. The market data for that. And then specifically down here, the stamina vials. So here's crafting discount. Maybe that's what Zabu's talking about. He didn't actually go into that. Craft Serendale, craft Crystal Veil. Crafting is going to be 2.08 or USD 36 cents apparently, and 38 cents for buying. So, and according to this site, it looks like they're trying to say it's only about a 2-cent difference, whereas when I did my manual checking, I saw a 4-cent difference. I'm not sure if that makes too big of a difference there. All right. Let's see. The next thing we're going to do, I think I got what I need from there. Get back over to here and look at, we've got 3.5 hours until we're going to be moving our Gen0 over and leveling her up. So there were a couple of other things that I wanted to make sure to do while I was out and about here today. One of them is another place on my spreadsheet. I'm keeping track of daily gains for things. And I guess we can do that here as well on stream. First thing that I want to do is come over here to the main bot account, which is going to be here into DFK1. And let's do a refresh. So we're making sure we got new stuff. And we want to take a look at the amount of gas that I've got over here. In this case, it is 14.54. We're going to do a little bit of rounding. We do want to come over and claim some crystal. And I already claimed today, I think. So unfortunately, I'm not sure how these values are going to, this might not make a lot of sense. when we're looking back at the spreadsheet later without some additional notes. If I harvest here, I do have 2, so we'll just go ahead and claim right here. It will also increase our locked balance from 2351 up to something a little bit more as well. And we want to take a look at our crystal value, 11.4, after it's gone up. So now we're at, notice here, we're at 2353. So 13.71. Our amount of gold is the same as it's been for the last every day that we've taken a look at this, 27,657. This account just does not gain in gold. I'm going to say 48 heroes again, even though technically we have 49 at the moment. The locked balance is now at 2353. And when we take a look at the long term, the last time I checked this, which was on the 23rd, so 4 days ago, our locked balance was 2416. So the issue that I'm having at the moment is we are reducing our locked balance, and already our locked balance is below 2500. I guess maybe that's not, I think 5,000 is the more important number there. But if we take a look at this chart, or this info graphic here, if you want to call it that, says that we have to at least have 5,000 locked if we want to get those miners to have the maximum amount of reward. And because we've only got 2,300, which falls into this category right here, then we only need 9 miners rather than 18. And I've only got, or I have got 18 miners. So my thinking is those miners are not actually, maybe half of the miners, in fact, are not really being very productive in here. I mean, they're leveling themselves up, they're getting some experience, but they're not bringing back a large amount of locked balance. So in this particular case, maybe we do want to start having them go towards gold a little bit more than crystal. Maybe I should consider that. Although crystal is just so much more valuable to be bringing in than gold. All right, the next thing that we want to take a look at here is in our inventory. We've got 32 and 7 for the runes to level up. 32 and 7. And what that means to me is I've used quite a bit of these runes in the last couple of days to level up. Let's check out our bot here. How's this doing for us? And if we scroll up, yep, it is 411 right now, so it hasn't done anything in about 40 minutes, but it is still active and working. It looks like it's sent off some stuff. And if we scroll up a little bit, wow, nobody leveled up. I guess here, yesterday, the 26th, we did have several heroes level up all at once, or pretty close to each other. You know, something I wish that would see here is trying to level up sent for meditation, collected. I don't see successfully leveled up. It would be great to have 2 level 2 or 3 or something like that, I think. So I'm going to make a suggestion to Carlo. In fact, let's do that right now. Waifu bot stuff. General chat. Did somebody something up with your channel, bro? Won't come up in search from bio. Interesting. 12:51 p.m. That sounds weird. Maybe that's why I don't have any viewership right now. Let's see. Let's just do a search for Rock 808. This is it. Let's see. Discord. Sabu. Try this link. I've been live for, what, 2 hours now? An hour? How long has it been? 2 hours. All right. Crypto Grady in the house. Sending a lot. Oh my goodness, walls of text. Very good. We'll try to catch up with that in a minute. Was I that far behind? There we go. Yeah, I guess I was. I'm not going to read all this right now, but definitely looks like a lot of good stuff was probably talked about right here, and I want to get back into all of that a little bit later. Okay. And why I'm really here right now is I wanted to go to the suggestion section for Carlo and just kind of, hey, Carlo. One easy upgrade I'd like to see is that when a hero levels up, can the bot show what level it's at afterward? Okay, I think that's as a programmer, and I mean, you're already printing text, so should be a super easy thing. Hopefully all quests out at once, since DFK dev said it's easier to migrate now. Okay. Yeah, as far as, I think we were talking earlier about having a slower rollout and not all quests might be available as soon as a new realm opens. And so Carlo here was just saying, hopefully all quests are going to get rolled out at once since it's easier to migrate now. So we'll see how that goes. Giveaways, guys, check the giveaways all the time here to see if you won or if there's a new giveaway for something. It looks like Cirrus won the last giveaway. And what did you win? Looks like 1,000 gold or 200 frost drum. Did I miss the giveaway? Not yet. Oh, this giveaway right here. I have not done a giveaway yet on the stream, just since we really haven't had anybody popping in. I kind of wonder if I gave out a wrong link earlier, or if there's some other issue with that, because we haven't really had anybody coming in from earlier who said that they were going to be here. And I just recently saw that somebody else was saying that they weren't able to find the stream. So anyway, send out a link. We'll see. But you did not miss a giveaway from me. But from Carlo, I don't think you missed it. I don't know how to tell, I guess here. 29 others. I don't know. Did you miss it? There's Mystical Meows. I see you're listed there. And of course, a lot of other people are listed in here as well. Oh, Oh, I thought King of Crypto, but it's King Coin. Nobel. Hey, Nobel got in on that. And Zabu, of course. Let's see. Very good. So a couple of people that I know are in here. Very cool. But as you can see, it's not wasn't a lot of people that entered. Only 32. You never redeemed your gift? I don't know. I don't know about that. But as far as this stuff goes, then Saris won not too long ago, and prize was dropped and all that kind of good stuff, and we just want to keep an eye on the things there. Waifu listings, more have been listed for sale, but we've got now up into, we're almost about to start 230s. That's crazy that he's selling so many so quickly. That's really good. All right. So I wanted to get the, I won a few days back, but never got my gift. Oh, okay. I don't know. What did you win? Let's see. Let's check out the stuff here. If we're going to be doing the bots, and what I was looking at a little while ago was the leveling up. So it would be nice to see that we saw what level we were at. A bot, oh, okay. Well, he's pretty good at that. For half price, so he's pretty good at that. Keeping back up and in touch. Let's see here. So if we're looking at monk fishing or priest gardening or pirate gardening, we got these level ups happening. Vitality +2, strength and dex. Each had a +1 for that. And priest gardening, wisdom, a +2. I mean, look how terrible, look how terrible this particular level up was. Only a +2 for wisdom and a +1 for dexterity. Oh, I see what you're saying. No, I think what happens when you win those particular ones, like if you won, I think I know what you're talking about. There was some mention the other day about you winning one of those bots from one of the giveaways earlier. Mystical Meows. I know I saw your name up here somewhere. Wherever it was. And anyway, so I'm pretty sure if you're talking about winning a bot, then what happens is that you're just given one, a specific one. And I think the one that you were winning was bot number 222. In fact, you might even have a picture of it here. I could have sworn it was in here. You wanted to hype off the only one available wasn't attractive. I know, but that's what I'm saying. Is for I think the way that he does this particular prize that I'd seen that you won. You don't get a choice. It's you won a specific number, and you just get it at half price, right? That's how that works. And then, of course, if you wanted to sell it and get another one or something like that, a different one, then you could. But the way that particular entry won, and you don't get a choice of what it looks like. But it wasn't that, I don't think it was anyone, and of course it's not anyone that is up for sale. It's a special one that never goes up for sale, is the one that you won. But right now, I can't for the life of me even see that in here. I guess I could do a search, right? I mean, that's why we even have searches. Mystical Meows with a Z. I'm not even seeing you in here. I know that I saw you in here not too long ago. Anyway, yeah, I can help you look into it a little bit later if you need to. I don't want to take up a lot of stream time for it now. I'm pretty sure that I saw that you won something. In fact, maybe it's even in the listings up in here. Although this is just listings, and I don't think it's any of the other stuff. There's also a game room, which maybe it was listed in here, where sometimes things are talking. Oh, here it is. No, that's something different. Yeah, this looks like it might be it. One number 200 and something. Let's see, that isn't it. Anyway, like I said, I can help you look into it a little bit later, but it might be one of these ones in here, and and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, like I said, I can help you with that a little bit later. Right now, I want to take a look at the training and the upgrades for this, and I want to see that we've got specific set of criteria for upgrading. Priest gardening with wisdom, intelligence, vitality. Oh, and that one was so bad. Only 2 wisdom and 1 dex. This one's much better. We've got a lot of pluses across the board for that hero, which is really good. But the point that I was getting at was that over the last couple of days, it's run through, I think I had 40 runes a couple of days ago, so I've used 8 of them in that amount of time. Of course, slightly higher level heroes do use up more of these. But as I'm looking at my spreadsheet, I am noticing that I did gain, I went up from 5 to now 7 of the Mashkas, right? All right. And then the last bit of information that I want to get from this, let's just double check the wallet address here again real quick. 1 CD, which I think is this, the bank. And if I refresh this page, scroll down here to the bottom, I can see here the farming and liquidity pools that I'm in, and it says 1467. Wow. Did we really lose $300 today? I don't think so. Why is this down so low? Oh, that's right. I think what happened was I pulled some out of liquidity the other day for that Gen0. I remember that now. We pulled out a little bit from the liquidity to get access to that Gen0. So today I am a little hurting from what I was a few days ago. The liquidity is now equal to 1384 plus 81, which leaves us with 1465 total. Which is down a little bit from what I had several days ago. So we took out some of that liquidity. Okay. The next thing that I wanted to do was come over and look at the play to earn account, right? So another account that I'm running is a play to earn account, investment fund for the viewers, y'all out there. And we'll be doing giveaways from this account. And I think I also want to make a brand new wallet as well that y'all can toss items in that you might want to contribute to the giveaways. And of course, I'll be doing the same thing, tossing some items into the giveaway wallet address. And then we'll just use that as a normal wallet address for giving things away from, all right? Let's see here. Play to earn investment fund, DFK chain. Let's check out what stats we are doing over here now. For this, we've got another bot right here that's running. Only 2 heroes in this, I'm pretty sure. These 2 gardeners are going out, they're gardening, they're getting some more funds for us. They're helping us grow our crystal. However, why are we so low in crystal over here? I know I didn't take any out of this. Oh, let's do a refresh. Maybe that is important. Potatoes, patatas. Hey, how's it going? How are you doing? We're just doing some DeFi Kingdoms stuff. I'm playing around a little bit, managing the accounts. I don't know if it's anything overly exciting, but if you're interested in chatting DeFi Kingdoms, then certainly stick around. How are you doing? Let's see. First thing I wanted to do was check the gas that we've got over here. 162 joule. That is up a little bit from what we had the other day. 162.55 to be exact. 162.55. I'm just updating a spreadsheet right now, guys. Kind of keeping track a little bit for several accounts, the growth with the heroes and the bots, and just kind of keeping an eye on daily gains for that kind of thing. Let's see, Mr. Camino, hey Potatoes, and Potatoes is saying, doing well, was looking for Twitch. Oh yeah, so I was streaming on Twitch earlier, but you're saying you missed that or couldn't find that? Let me grab a link for you there. I don't know why you might not have been able to find Twitch. There's my Twitch link. And yeah, we had a good time in Twitch earlier today. Oh my goodness. However, if you came in around, I forget what time you were saying you were looking. I did end the stream about 1 or maybe 1:30 p.m. Central, US Central Time. Maybe a little after, maybe more closer to 1:15. And if you were coming in around that time, then yeah, I probably just ended stream. But I had streamed for about 3 hours, and Grievux was a winner of the Gen 1. And of course he got to pick, or he hadn't been too used to, or maybe I think he said he had never summoned anything before. And he was saying, oh, Rock, I trust you to pick out a good Gen0 hiring pair for that. And yeah, it's all on the stream. I think you can go back and catch it if you're that interested, or you can even skip ahead. That's one of the advantages, I guess, about not watching live, is you can jump ahead a little bit. I'm not sure if it was super fantastically interesting, and so I'm not necessarily recommending, oh yeah, go watch this video. But if you wanted to see it and you wanted a little bit more DFK content and all that kind of stuff, you could certainly go back. I'm not going to spoil it or give it away what was summoned or anything like that, but we did summon something, unless of course you want me to share that right now, if you're not planning on going to watch. But yeah. And Mr. Meow is saying, I think Rock's planning to do more streaming on YouTube now. Yeah, I know that there's a larger majority of DeFi Kingdoms players already on YouTube. And I've been streaming on Twitch for a long time. And that's just I think at least it's more comfortable. And I think there's a more built community there on Twitch for things. But not necessarily for DeFi Kingdoms. Because I think because not many other people stream on Twitch for DeFi Kingdoms, maybe a lot of people don't have accounts. In fact, that struck me maybe 2 days ago now when I was talking about the waifu bot, and I was really getting into a detailed discussion and a demonstration of the waifu bot on the stream. And I let Carlo know, hey, I'm going to be doing this. If you want to, peek in and listen in or something like that, be a part of that, maybe to answer any questions that I can't. And Carlos said that sounded like a great idea. Carlos came in and was a part of that stream as well, and really gave a lot of good information on that. But when he first came in, he said, oh, I don't have a Twitch account. I'm going to have to create one. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't even give that too much thought. But it's very likely that a lot of maybe people that are into DeFi Kingdoms quite a bit, maybe y'all don't even have Twitch accounts. But everybody, almost everyone who does content for DeFi Kingdoms is putting their content on YouTube. So we all have YouTube accounts, right? Or at least can watch from there. So I thought I would open up a little bit more to YouTube as well. Right now I'm thinking about streaming one stream in the morning on Twitch and one stream in the afternoon, evening for YouTube. Yeah. Potato says, haha, no spoilers. Absolutely right. Like I said, unless you don't plan on watching and then you just want the information on what we summoned, then I'm happy to share that with you. There's another guy, Bjorn, who was watching earlier, but he missed the summons as well, and he wanted me to pull up the hero that we had summoned and talk about it a little bit. And I was planning on doing that, but I haven't seen Bjorn here this afternoon again for this second stream on YouTube. I think some people on YouTube might not have their notifications turned on with the black bell to get notified for everything that I'm doing. So I have a feeling that several of my viewers did not get notified. And because I don't normally stream on YouTube, this stream has been pretty quiet, which is fine, but it does help me to realize that I need to be streaming a little bit more often on both platforms, right? So I don't lose viewers from them, or I don't lose viewers from Twitch, and I start to gain some of those viewers that expect me on a regular basis here on YouTube. Now let's see. I remember the Sandbox times last year on Twitch when I first found your streams. Absolutely, yeah. Sandbox is what I was streaming last year. We were getting 40 viewers, 50 viewers regularly every day for all that kind of stuff. So that was nice. I've been saying there's been great need for video demonstrations on waifu. Yeah. So I do plan to upload my video. I think I streamed for about 3 hours that day as well. It wasn't a 3-hour demonstration, but so we did the demonstration with Carlo, and Carlo, stayed through all that, but then he had to leave and do other things. I continued to stream, but I was thinking about snipping and even trimming down some of that long stream. I can be a little verbose sometimes, and also I can get a little sidetracked sometimes, and maybe trimming out all that extra fat, if you want to call it, to get more of a lean video down for a demonstration for the waifu bot, and then post that as a long-standing video on YouTube. That is one of my things that I plan to do. Maybe I'll do that after the stream today. You need to change the Twitch account. Yeah, absolutely. And that, I think, goes to prove my point right there, right? You don't have a Twitch account either, but I know that you're you know, a prominent member of the DeFi Kingdoms community. You've been on other streams. I've seen you, you know, get involved and being on other streams. So to not have a Twitch account, that just goes to show that I do need to be streaming on YouTube a little bit more as well, because again, most of the DFK content or content creators are on YouTube. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What I was in the middle of doing here was keeping up my spreadsheet. So let me finish that real quick. And if y'all have any questions, feel free to ask while I'm wrapping this up here. But let's come over and on the other screen, I'm going to update my spreadsheet. Looks like I've only got 0.16 crystal left. I had a little bit more the other day. Did I do my harvest here? This should be after claim. We're going to claim that and confirm. And like I'm saying, what I'm doing at the moment is I have a spreadsheet where I'm keeping daily track of growth in a couple of different items: gas, fee, money, crystal, gold, the heroes that are in this account, the locked value, total pool value, and some of the inventory items like the Shavas and so on for a couple of things. So I can see how well the bot is helping some of these different accounts right here. So this is a 3.39 crystal. There's still 0 gold because I've only got 2 gardeners. It is those 2 gardeners, but if we wanted to take a look, we could come into here and click on the heroes, and they're on their gardening quests right there. Also, for locked balance, we are gaining some locked balance. So with those 2 gardeners only, I have gone up from 987 locked balance to now 994.98 locked balance. So over the course of a couple of days, this has been a couple of days though, or no, it was yesterday, wasn't it? Let's just double check that. No, this was a couple of days ago. So over the course of a couple of days, I've gone up about 7 crystal of locked balance. The number of Shavas in here should also be the same as it was before, which is 9. Let's see. I prefer to watch streams on YouTube these days. Why is that, Mystical Meows? Why do you prefer YouTube as opposed to Twitch? Generally, Twitch has been the leader, I think, in game streaming for games, and also live streaming. YouTube has added that. I guess it's been a while now, but YouTube is not really known for live streams very much. Why do you prefer YouTube? Oh, the ad situation? Oh. Hadn't really thought of that, but yeah. So I guess Twitch gives a couple of ads every now and then, which I don't really have any control over. And then YouTube, you can kind of install an ad blocker or something and block those ads. I see. Let's also take a look at the pool value for this account, which is, I think, oh man, let me check this wallet address again just to be sure. C8D, which is this one. Let's refresh. And when we're talking about gaining that locked balance, so who was it a little earlier? I think it was Crypto Monete and Oak6 on the stream earlier this morning were asking me about buying heroes and which one should I get and so on. And the fact that it really, the heroes that you should get depending on your personal style, but also depending on how much locked balance you have. And I think Crypto Monete was saying that he only had 80 crystal, 80 locked crystal in his locked balance. And of course, hey, RK, 1990, how are you doing there? Welcome on in. RK, how did you find the stream? I've been streaming for many months on Twitch, and I've just started streaming on YouTube. And so I'm kind of curious as how y'all are finding the YouTube stream. And sometimes I'm finding that you already know me, or we are, you're already a member of the community, but you are, oh, Nobel. See, exactly. Yeah, you're already a member of the community. It's just I don't know your YouTube names. I'm going to have to get, try to keep track of those. But Nobel, welcome on in. How did you find the stream? Oh, man. Nobel's been a long time member friend of mine from Sandbox, and was one of the first viewers that I've had here. So good to see you here on YouTube as well. I'm gonna have to try to make that, man, it's gonna be so hard. It's hard enough to just remember y'all's handles, but now to remember handles on Twitch versus YouTube is gonna be challenging for me. And Nobel, on here, would you rather me just call you RK? I'm not sure if that would be easier for me to remember, or if it, now I think I've got Nobel just fine. Maybe if you're not on for a couple of days, I might say, oh, I know you're somebody, but I forget. Okay, but let's finish up what I was talking about here real quick. So what I wanted to mention was that Oak6 and Crypto Monete, who we were talking about on the earlier stream, Crypto Monete said that he only had 80 locked crystal in his locked balance, and he was talking about buying a miner. And I was like, man, I don't know if buying a miner to get access to that 80 locked crystal is really the best thing to be doing. And we had a long talk about all this kind of stuff, and I gave throughout some bits of advice, which I guess some people enjoyed. But here's a good example. How much money do you need to be doing things for certain other combinations? And so what I'm trying to show right here is, for this account, I've only got about $382, 806 crystal with 0.15 ETH into this liquidity pool. It's the only liquidity pool that I've got. And I'm gaining, even with 2 active gardeners, I'm still gaining some locked crystal, because again, I'm not mining against that locked crystal. So it's not being depleted. Those gardeners are getting me some extra crystal as well, which I can then filter back into the crystal ETH pool, I think at a faster rate. And so for this particular account, my strategy is start off with a tiny amount of money. For those of y'all that are new, if you haven't been watching me for months and months now, this little account that I'm looking at right here at the moment, this is my investment account that I created for my viewers. And I funded it with I think a couple $1,000s originally. Of course, crypto's gone down since then, and I haven't taken out the money, so it's worth much less now than it was a while back. But I think when crypto pops back up, if we can get on another bull run, this 510 will end up being $5,000 of value over here, right? At least. And so at the moment, this little liquidity pool's only got $382 worth of value, but with 2 gardeners working on it, it's still pretty nice getting a little bit of gain on a regular basis. And so I wish that Crypto Monete and Oak6 were here again, so they could see that even with $382, I'm able to make a gain using gardeners, not miners, right? And then taking that money that I've harvested, or that value that I've harvested here, which was turned out to only be about 3.2 crystal today. And probably, I don't know if it's great to take such a small amount of crystal and split it into seeds for Crystal and Ethereum every day, and having those transactions go on for that, maybe it wouldn't matter too much. But I've just been coming into the jeweler when I have a small amount, and I'll add it here. So you see I've got 105. I want to keep 100 in here as a minimum, just in case there's a bonus. Oftentimes, DeFi Kingdoms dev team is giving us some various rewards, snapshot rewards of some things, if we have 100 crystal or X crystal or X jewel in the bank. So I want to keep at least a minimum of 100 so I can get a possibility of some random rewards. And I've added 5 additional X crystal in there. I can go ahead and deposit these extra 3, which is going to get me 2.1 X crystal. And then when this value here, it is gaining a little bit of interest, perhaps. 1 X crystal is equal to 1.565 crystal now, and a couple of days ago it had been 1.55. So the amount of X crystal gains a little bit of crystal every day, or every couple of days at the most. And so it's a very small yield in the meantime. And then once we get enough, maybe once I get up to 110 or maybe 120, then I'll go ahead and take that out. We'll go back over to the marketplace and the trader, and we will swap half of that out for Crystal and Ethereum, and then we'll go into the Druid and create a new, or buy new seeds with the Crystal and the Ethereum that we have there, right? And then add that to our liquidity pool and just kind of grow that little nest egg. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Potato says, sorry if I missed this. What would you call this account? It seems like you are tracking a bigger, like a beginner account. Yes, yeah. So this, like I said, is a very small account that is just about, has a little bit of money that I threw in here for like an investment fund and stuff like that. Wonderful. Definitely useful for new members to get a real idea of what you can expect. Yes, yes. When did I start this account? I'm going to have to say April, maybe. It was a little bit before Crystal Veil opened, and I don't remember exactly when that was. I want to say something like April, May. Was it maybe as late as March? I forget. But it was, I think, at most a couple weeks before Crystal Veil opened, because I do remember that I was moving some things over to Crystal Veil. And Nobel says, oh, you changed your name. I made a small change so you cannot forget, Rock. There you go. Perfect. But I don't want y'all to be changing your names for just me or my stream. Is it possible for you to change just on this one stream? I don't know. But yes, I'm definitely not going to forget now, Nobel. Let's see. But I agree with you, potatoes, and that's why I'm kind of doing this. Also, is I think most of my viewers, I think, are beginners, and some of them don't have a lot of money to spend, or they're not sure that they really want to get into DeFi Kingdoms, or they are new to NFT games, and so they're just a little bit unsure, you know, what do I do? What do I want to do? Do I even want to invest in anything? But I've noticed that some of them are opening up a little bit more, like, oh, I'd like to buy a single hero, or I would like to start a little bit more of, you know, add another $20 in. Is it worth it to add $20 in? And so having a very small account like this, I think, and tracking it also does do, and for me as well, I can see a difference in strategy, right? So in this account right here, I definitely need to implement a different strategy because I don't have any miners. I don't want to mine against my lock balance. I want gardeners here, and I have a tiny bit of liquidity that I'm trying to build up. I'm trying to get that snowball, you know, rolled into a larger snowball before things really snowball, right? And of course, I'm not a DFK expert either. So maybe there are things that some of y'all longtime DFK players will end up chiming in and saying, hey, have you thought about doing this or that? And maybe there's even a better way to run a smaller account. Yeah. Let's see. Potato says, can't wait to jump into new pools in 2.0. Yep, very hard for me to build a bag while I FOMO'd into eggs. Yes, and usual tavern. So, potatoes. You weren't watching the stream, but obviously I think you know that I bought that new Gen0 the other day, right? And that ended up being 15,000 crystal, right? 15,000 crystal is what we spent on that. And I was not planning to buy that Gen0 at all. In fact, if it wasn't for my chat making some kind of random off-the-wall comment like, hey, buy a Gen0 or something. And I was like, oh, okay, let's go check them out. And then we started to check them out, and I noticed, hey, this one's actually not too bad. Here's one that's actually looking pretty good. And it's actually one of the better ones that I've seen. In fact, we can go take a look at her because I think she's beautiful. One of the better Gen0s that I have altogether, right? Galena Axer, a Berserker. And what makes her pretty special is that it's a Berserker and a Miner, which I didn't have already. So I've already got this Berserker here, but this was a Berserker Gardener, and it's hard to find her a match, right? Hard to find her a match that works out with good percentages of getting something, right? But this one was fairly inexpensive also, I seem to remember. Again, hero floor prices are coming down. I was like, I wanted to grab one. In fact, this might have been my first Gen0. And so even though it wasn't great at a profession match, I also know that professions is a small part of the game. And so I didn't want to hold that against a Ramnella too much. Like, well, you're still a Berserker Warrior, and you're still a level 7. And you're a Gen0, right? All these positives. So I think I jumped on that without doing a whole lot of research or looking into. And then after I got her, I started to recognize that because of that gardening, it really throws off some percentages. And even though I love having this Gen0 here, and I still am contemplating some really good use cases for her, she's just not a strong Berserker that could be paired with a Seer as an example, right? And that's what I was thinking here also, is that I do have a really good Seer. It's a Seer Gardener with a Green Wisdom, which of course isn't the best, but still that there. And so I wanted somebody to pair. So I got this Berserker here, 2 Gen0s. But now that I've got this Berserker Miner, I think that would be a better one to pair sometimes. Anyway, the point that I'm making here is that if it wasn't for chat just randomly saying, hey, go look at Gen0s real quick, or maybe you should buy a Gen0, I would never have picked this one up. So that was really good. Also, I did look at the history a little bit, and it looked like the previous owner had been lowering the price. In other words, maybe a couple of days ago, this hero had been selling for 25,000 crystal, and maybe even more a week or 2 weeks ago. All I did was I looked at the last several entries, and I saw that several days ago this one was listed for 25,000, then it was listed for 20,000, still didn't sell, and then when I went to go look at it yesterday, it was selling for 15,000 crystal, and I just happened to run into it at that time. However, I will say, I was thinking about it, I was thinking, if it was selling for 25,000, would I have bought it then? And honestly, I wouldn't have bought it then either, and probably not even at 20,000, just because I had to really scramble to get the 15,000 crystal that I had. I'm not really a whale, even though, I don't know, some people might, I don't think anybody would say I'm a whale, but it's possible that somebody might say that if I own any, or if anyone owns Generation 0 heroes or something like that. But, you know, these Generation 0 heroes, at least the ones that I'm buying after the prices have dropped, you know, this one was only $3,600, which again, to some people is a lot of money, but that's just monthly mortgage for me. And I don't want to blow that off too much. It still is an entire month's worth of mortgage, but it's not like it was $50,000 or $100,000, because that would be outrageous. I'd love to own land in DeFi Kingdoms, but I just can't force myself to pay $50,000 or $100,000, which is what land is running for right now, right? And potatoes, when you're saying can't wait to jump into the new pools for Serendale 2.0, really agree with you on that too, because we have heard many times that the devs have indicated those new pools are going to be really good for a number of different reasons. Not necessarily just a high APR, which I think, but, and maybe that is all it is. But I got the impression from a couple of different things that they've said on different locations, different times, that we're really going to be excited about the new pools. And to me, saying that sounds to me like they're talking about more than just an APR, right? I don't know, maybe it is just a really good APR, but whatever the case is, it sounds like it's going to be better than normal, better than Crystal Vale pools opening up there. And I know that those pools were opening up at several thousand APR. I think that they're also backing away from that. I heard, whether it was Bullen or somebody was saying, and again, they could always change their mind, or maybe I misunderstood, but Bullen or somebody seemed to be saying when they were talking about the pools that for Clayton blockchain and for Serendale 2.0, they were going to not have such massively high APRs for a short period of time to begin with, but instead they were going to have slightly lower APRs for an extended period of time is what they were really looking like. So more people could get involved into it and still get a really good APR for a lot longer period of time, rather than just a few people getting in like at the first few minutes and getting, you know, 40,000% APR or whatever it is, right? Still, I think it's going to be very good, but I think I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe you have a little bit more information, potatoes. I'm thinking that there's more involved than just a high APR. What do you think? Let's see. My fear is that newcomers or current small holders are discouraged, thinking they can't compete with low level and rarity heroes. You know, that's something else that I agree with. There was somebody who mentioned something somewhere, I forget where it was now, that really wanted to try to focus on raising the price of heroes, right? They're like, oh, the hero floor is really tanking and heroes are worth so much less now, and we need to do more to boost up or skyrocket the price of these heroes. And to me, I'm thinking, no, I don't want that, right? So I own about 100 heroes now. And certainly, as a holder of a lot of heroes, as anybody would who has, you know, hundreds or even 1,000 heroes, I guess Crypto Grady's getting up to about 1,000 now. But when you've got even dozens or hundreds of heroes, if you paid $2,000 for a hero, or, you know, 6 months or 9 months ago, or if you paid $50 or $100 for a hero, I think the very first hero that I bought, I paid about $210 for it or something. I think that was also just 80 crystal, by the way, or 80 jewel, by the way, right? Something like that, when jewel was about $4 or $5 or whatever it was. And I was like, man, I don't know if I want to spend $210 on this new game, and I can only really afford one hero, besides putting money into the liquidity pools and all this kind of stuff as well. You know, the money just starts to wear thin. And right at that time, early on in my experience, I was thinking owning one hero would be all that I would ever own. I'm like, ugly, let me just buy one and let me get into it, but I don't think I'm ever going to be able to afford more than one or two, right? But now that the prices have dropped, and now that I've also bought more and I'm up to, I have quite a few, I'm seeing a really interesting shift in game dynamic, especially looking at things like Fight Club, where we've got a bunch, it's better in Fight Club to have a large pool of heroes that you can choose from, and you choose the best heroes for a specific task, right? Or a specific battle that you want to do or something like that. And in that particular case, I can see a really good use case for having at least a dozen heroes, maybe even as a minimum, for someone who really wants to be playing the game, and probably even closer to 50 heroes for someone who wants to have enough fun where you can swap out those heroes and have a decent sized collection where you've got some good heroes. And of course, when you're doing that, you're either paying hundreds of dollars for some very specific, strategic, high-level heroes, or you're just buying off the floor and you're trying to raise those up yourself and work on those. And I think for third world country people, or even, some people that are getting started out, not everyone is a massive crypto bag holder from, 5 years ago. If we want to get those new people in, personally, I feel that floor heroes would be great if they're about $3 to $5. I would be totally happy to always keep floor heroes about $3 to $5. I think that is a value point or price point that people all over the world could get into without much difficulty. And it would be easy to buy, for most people, it would be easy to buy 10 heroes. At $5 each, $50. Yeah, that's not too bad to get involved in a little something and try something out. And once you have 10 heroes, I think you'll have a lot more people stick around longer. They'll be having more fun. And then maybe some of the higher level and more specialized heroes can be worth more. But I'm not somebody who really wants to be pushing for $20 crystals, where the floor price on those heroes is 32 crystal. And now you're talking about heroes that are a lot more expensive. And people are only going to be able to afford one or two. And then the game they're not getting a very good feeling of the game, right? Nobel says, I'm still in the X-Jewel pool with 175.5 LP. Is it worth it to convert to a higher APR pool? Nobel, I'm going to say yes to that. Again, cannot offer you financial advice, as you well know, but if I was in that position, and in fact, I have been in that position, because when I first got into Crystal Veil, and even up until fairly recently, I wanted to have a stable token. And I also, and X-Jewel had a pretty good APR back then too. But I also wanted to gain more of that token, and I didn't have quite as much faith in Crystal on its own, right? But if we come here to the Druid and look at my my pools, I am not in X-Jewel anymore. I sold the X-Jewel, and I got into, I think the very next pool that I immediately moved into was Crystal ETH. I wanted to have a little bit more exposure to Crystal, and I thought that ETH was a good, solid token as well. And maybe more importantly for me and my concerns at that very moment was Crystal ETH pool had maybe close to about a 200% APR. Now it's dropped a little bit. It's down to 111%, but it's still higher than a lot of other things. Crystal Vox is at 87. Crystal BTC is just a little bit more, slightly more at 117. And Crystal BTC is a pretty solid coin as well, right? So that could be something else if you weren't as interested in Crystal ETH. Crystal BTC would be another one that I might, if I wasn't already in Crystal ETH, then I would probably add or get into Crystal BTC, to be honest, right? Couple of reasons for that. One is that I think BTC being the granddaddy of all the cryptos. This just has a little bit more stability than some of the others, even like ETH, even though ETH has been around for so long. And then also looking at the fact that even though 111% and 117% are not that far different in APRs, I don't think anytime soon Bitcoin and ETH are going to drastically separate or diverge in price. So I'm not necessarily sure that it would be more advantageous to get into one as opposed to the other. Right? I don't think ETH is going to skyrocket over Bitcoin necessarily. And somebody might. If you think that that would happen, then by all means, do the things that y'all think are best. I am not a financial advisor. But for me, if I wasn't already in Crystal ETH, I'd probably get into the Crystal Bitcoin stuff now that we have it. And all the other, Crystal Clay could be, but I'm not overly sold on Clayton yet. I know it's going to be big, but I think there might be some more downturn before it goes up. I don't really know. But I'm also noticing it's a slightly lower percentage. And everything else is a much lower percentage. 99, 84, 83, and all the way down here, our poor little Jewel X Jewel only at 17% APR now. So I really do think that if you're trying to grow your bag, which I think most of us are probably trying to do, Jewel X Jewel, if you want to focus more on holding Jewel X Jewel specifically because you are interested in the governance aspect of the game and you're wanting higher voting power, right? And you're wanting to just put something in long-term, passive long-term, and you're gaining money from the fees, the fee sharing aspect of things, and you have a large bag to put in already. And you have all these and you have enough extra capital to do other things in the game besides just hold this one garden, this one pool. If all of those things are yes, and again, I'm talking about for myself, I'm thinking about if these were all the situations that were happening, then I would probably put in to Jewel X Jewel something. But for me, in my particular case, I have sold all that because I'm much more interested right at this very moment in the APRs, and I already have a lot of X Jewel in other places. I think I've got 8,000 X Jewel still right now in another account. And 8,000 seems okay. 8,000 X Jewel seems an okay amount. It's not, again, I'm not a massive whale. Some of y'all might think 8,000 X Jewel is a lot. It's not compared to these people with millions. Also, Nobel, one thing about this that I want to point out too is I am 99% sure the devs have said and have continued to say for a while now that X Jewel Jewel Pool was never intended to be a permanent ongoing thing forever, and it's going to go away sometime fairly soon. Right? I don't know how soon, a couple of weeks, right? They're not going to rug pull you and, yank out your stuff here, but they are going to archive this, and there's not going to be any more emissions, and you're not going to, the APR is going to go down to 0 at some point over the next couple of weeks, I think. What they want to encourage is they want to encourage you to hold one of these other pools. And right at this very minute, I'm looking at the Crystal BTC, I'm looking at the Crystal ETH. Maybe since I personally believe that the market, the global economic market, is going to go down, including stock market and all this other kind of stuff, then I've also got some funds in Crystal USDC because I feel USDC is going to be strong. And even if Crystal goes down as half of the pool, the USDC side of it is going to stay strong, right? So that's why I'm also invested in Crystal USDC. If you're feeling the same way and that the crypto market has still got a ways to drop, and personally I'm thinking 10 or 20%, then you might consider something like that, getting into part of a stablecoin, whether it's Crystal USDC or Jewel USDC. But again, that is a lower APR, right? Crystal USDC, where was that? Over here. It's only 99%. Still not too much less, but I also like those higher APRs. Yeah. And then Nobel, again, depending on what you want to do, if you do want to hold some governance, if that matters to you at all, I don't know how much you have invested. For me, and my thinking is, if I don't have a lot invested in DFK, then probably I don't really care so much about taking some of it or putting some of it aside for governance and fee sharing. I'd rather build my bag faster first. And then maybe 6 months down the road, once I have a really fat bag of Crystal or Jewel or something like that, then I can invest some of that into XJewel and get more into the governance side of things at that point. But in the meantime, for me, it's kind of like that race. You want to race up to at least something good pretty quick. Potatoes, you say, good points. We need accessibility. My first hero is $300. Yeah, exactly right. First hero, $300. Yikes. You know, a lot of people, especially around the world, cannot afford to do something like that to get in. Around the same time, my one and only for many months, I would have never got nearly as involved in the game if prices were still that high. Exactly. Yeah, I think that's exactly right. So even though I'm very excited about DeFi Kingdoms in general, and from a perspective of I have already bought a lot of heroes, I would love for those assets that I've purchased to go up in value. I also feel that for the game to succeed, which I really care more about, I care more about the game succeeding. If the game does really well, and if the game can attract millions of other users, millions of other players, right? Then the whole project is going to be uplifted and everything will have more value. And if I'm getting fee sharing at the same time, so if I am somewhat invested and possibly getting more invested over time in XJewel or XCrystal or whatever the governance token is going to be and some of that fee sharing, then as millions of players come in, I'm going to be getting fractions of that all the time. And I won't care what the price of the hero is necessarily, or as much, right? If I make $1 million off of fee sharing, my small little fraction of fee sharing, I'm happy with that too. It doesn't need to be $1 million from a resale of a hero, right? And to do that, I feel that we need lower priced heroes, right? The price that they're at right now, I think is good. I don't necessarily mean lower than they are now, although going down to $3 would be a little bit better for those floor heroes. You know, why not allow someone in a third world country where maybe they're only making $3 a day? That's a whole day's worth of their salary. You know, give them something that's a little bit more affordable as well. I know there's a huge amount of players that do this kind of stuff in the Philippines, as an example. In fact, some of my viewers on Twitch are from the Philippines and from some of those other Central Asian countries, right? Thailand, I think we got a person over there. And so, you know, they keep reminding me and telling me that some of these dollar amounts that we're talking about, that I'm talking about, are way out of their league. You know, it's like a month's worth of salary for them. It's like, that's a lot to ask of somebody. Here, pay a month's worth of your salary to test out this crypto game that could be a rug or something, right? Of course, I think we know now that DFK is not a rug. But it's a lot to ask of someone who's new and they just don't know yet. They're not sure for themselves. Yeah. Noel says, yeah, I think it will drop more. It's not looking like not not looking that well for stocks and crypto market. But yeah, for the long term, I think I will go into Crystal BTC and get more Crystal. That, if I was in a position like it sounds like you're in, that would be my course of action, right? I would want to build my bag up quickly, and then as I got more money in faster, then I could play around in more parts of the game. I could buy more heroes, I could invest in more things as more of that money is getting generated by the game engine itself, right? By the engine that I'm creating or putting together, right? That snowball is just rolling and getting bigger every day, bringing in more income, right? And then I think that's where you want to be. At least from my perspective, absolutely. Stuff to think about, Nobel says. Absolutely right. Potato says, so happy with my strategy of accumulating cheap potatoes. Must hurt for the users that went deep into the high rare dreads, for example. Yeah, exactly. So I also, most of the heroes that I ended up purchasing over the course of, since I've been in the game, which again has been, I think, since March and April is, I think, when I got into DeFi Kingdoms. Most of the heroes that I bought were either very close to the floor, maybe some of them were the floor, absolutely. Some of them were the bottom of the barrel. But they were either close to the floor or maybe up to about 150 jewel or crystal at the time, depending on what realm we're talking about. But I did not spend a lot on any of those. In fact, if we take a look at these heroes in here, I'm slightly unhappy with the amount of money that I spent on some of these comments. Now, besides the Gen0s, right? The Gen0s are in a class all by themselves. But if we look at my other heroes here, then commons, uncommons, bunch more commons and uncommons. Again, commons and uncommons. There's a couple of rares in here, but a majority of these guys are commons and uncommons, and I did not buy any legendary or mythics, even though I would love to have some. I did not spend the extra money on those. That felt like too much money to pay for what it was. Now, are mythics and legendaries perhaps worth it when you are trying to go into head-to-head battle with another player who's also got a bunch of jacked up heroes? The answer is probably yes. Probably, if it comes down to it, if you are trying to get the #1 slot on leaderboard of something, then I would say you want a team of all mythics, right? Who doesn't? But your team of all mythics is probably going to generally beat out a team of, all commons from me. And that's why, in a way, I feel like, I might be able to get up somewhere on a leaderboard, the top 10,000. I might make it into the top 10,000 or top 1,000 maybe. But there's no way I think I would ever get to the top 10 based on my selection of heroes, even though I've got quite a few. I've got a lot of heroes here, but they're all close to the floor. They're all not really that great. I'm not very skilled at leveling them up, at least not yet. I still have a lot to learn. I do plan on learning. And so I'm really good. I'm really happy because all of these heroes that I have, in fact, in this account right here, 47 heroes are leveling up now with an automation tool. Thank goodness for Carlo's waifu bot, right? I'd never be able, and that's something else. I would never have 47 heroes if it wasn't for the bot. Most of these heroes that I have here are all purchased since I found Carlo's waifu bot. But that's another very interesting aspect, potatoes, when we're talking about, entry level stuff and getting people involved in the game itself. Before I had a bot, I think I had about 10 heroes. And leveling those up manually, even 10 heroes, leveling up manually 2 or 3 times a day, jumping on and clicking and pointing and clicking and doing all this kind of stuff was a bit of a pain. And sometimes I missed. Sometimes I was out doing something else, running errands or involved, I had company over or whatever it was. And there were times when I would go maybe 12 hours without heroes leveling themselves up automatically. I had to do it manually. And so it was a slow process, and I felt emotionally bad, slightly bad, but emotionally I took a punch to the gut a little bit when I had neglected my heroes for 12 hours, and I come back and everybody's full stamina. They'd been full stamina for a while, and I'm like, oh man, I lost out a little bit. I'm slower at this than I want to be. And it really made me not want to buy a whole bunch more heroes. But as soon as I found the bot, I was like, oh man, this is so much better. And immediately I went out. Within the first few days of getting the bot, tried it out first with my small number of heroes. I did some, calculations. Everything looked good. I was really excited. And then within the next couple of days, I went out and just started buying a lot of somewhat floor level heroes, because even those floor level heroes were gaining a little bit of stuff, a little bit of profit, even if it's a few cents, and it doesn't take any manual effort or much manual effort anymore. Yeah. And later on, I could try to resell some of these things back. I mean, a level 7, even if it's not a really great hero, a level 7 or a level 10 is going to sell for a lot more than I bought it for. And if I can hold out through this bear market, and if crystal value does go up to $1, even 50 cents, but $1 or $2 again, then I will certainly be able to sell these for a lot more than I put in. Let's see. Potatoes is saying, so what's your current play on pets? That's a really good question. I know that a lot of people have really good input on pets. I am not the person to ask about pets. So I know that you were involved with the Crypto Grady debate a few days ago about hero leveling up, and there was some talk about heroes, and I think Mosh had something, it was saying something like he had, was it 100 pets? Was that it? Am I right? Am I remembering that properly? Anyway, some of those guys had a lot of pets and or a lot of eggs that they were going to be converting into pets or hatching into pets at some point. I've not bought any eggs at all. I'm not sure when a great time to buy is. I don't know a utility. I know they will definitely have really good utility, right? I probably should be buying some, but I don't know if they're too overpriced now, or if we're going to have a flood of pets on the market and then they're going to, drop in price. And I just don't want to get caught in that. So I kind of want to wait to do anything with pets until pet functionality, utility is released and the market has calmed down from some kind of craziness at the beginning. And if I lose out a little bit of some kind of spike in the market, I'm really not that concerned about it. I know that the game will be around for a long time, and I'd like to see what pets can do a little bit more first. So that's kind of my strategy. I'm going to hold on to the eggs that I have. I don't want to sell the eggs that I have. I think they are going to be valuable, but I'm not hatching them. I am not doing anything with them yet. But as a final word from me on pets, I would say I'm not the person to ask. Don't trust what I'm doing. I think what I'm doing is probably a terrible thing. So definitely talk to other people, what they're doing with pets, and get some more of the insight, especially if you're going to be doing player versus player, right? Or even player versus environment, that's maybe coming up at some time. But certainly player versus player, those pets are really going to be able to help you in those player versus player tactics. And I'm going to say probably if you don't have pets attached for a lot of these things, and even, I should say, questing. Even with certain quests, I think having a pet attached is really going to help out dramatically as well. But I'll deal with that when that actually happens. And we'll see where things go. And I probably will not be buying in the first week either if we see that pet prices are skyrocketed. Potato says, no. Oh, no waifu, no laifu. That's exactly true. Exactly my situation. Doubled my heroes in 1 month finding the waifu. I was beginning to feel overwhelmed. That's a really good word. I was feeling a little overwhelmed, and I felt that I couldn't walk away from the computer for too long, right? I had to get back to level those heroes. Otherwise, what's the point? Even though I thought I may need to liquidate at a loss. Yeah, absolutely right. And I don't know how many heroes you have, potatoes, if you want to share that. Yeah, I mean, if you've got a ton of assets that you think you're underutilizing, then it might be better to sell early before they lose their value even more over time, right? If that's something that we're possibly concerned about for some things. Like I said, I wouldn't mind if the floor value on these heroes drops to $3, in which case I will be losing money on the heroes that I already have. You know, a lot of these heroes, I think I was purchasing at, $20 maybe. I think some of them were $50. Some of them were lower. I think there was a good amount of them that I purchased right off the floor when they were about $8 or $9 or $10. I think at some point not too long ago, I added an extra $100 or maybe $200 worth of USDC value into I think it was this account, and I was planning to use that to buy some floor heroes every single day. I didn't want to buy them all at once because, of course, you've got so much money. Even with $100, you're going to buy 10 floor heroes. You're going to sweep that floor pretty quick and start getting up into some higher price. And I was like, well, I don't want to be paying too much for these, floor heroes. So what I wanted to do was only take the bottom 5 every day for a couple of days, right? So if we come in and take a look at the heroes down here, 37 is the price, and it looks like there's quite a few at 37. But I think a little earlier there's a lot at 37 right now. But I think a little earlier there were some at 35. And so what I would do is I would come in here and I would just take the 35 crystal ones and I'd leave all these 37s for another day. And then if after the next day we didn't have something lower than 37, then I might come in and think about it. But that was my strategy a couple of weeks ago. After I got the bot, I realized I need a lot of heroes. And so I started looking at, scooping up a lot of these floor heroes to get started. Let's see. You have about 105. Wow, nice. That's about what I have. Yeah, very cool. Very nice. But again, you probably have better heroes than I do in general. Besides those Gen 0s, like I said, most of mine are pretty close off to the floor. I wasn't trying to get something. And I think you said also that you avoided buying mythics and all that fancy stuff. So our heroes are maybe about the same levels. Nobel says, is there a tool to help you calculate the LP tokens for the pool? Potato says there is an equation. Ask in Discord, not very experienced with it. Nobel, I'm not sure exactly what you need, but let me help you out with a couple of things first. One is the bank, right? Is this something that you need? In other words, the bank is showing me that I've got these 2 liquidity pools, Crystal and ETH and Crystal of Ox, and it breaks down what those things are, right? 2926 and 0.53 right here for these. And this is a way that I can easily see. Of course, you could also see from the Druid itself, right? So if you just need to see how much you already have, and I don't think that's your question, but your question sounds a little similar to this. You could always go back into the marketplace, into the Druid, and manage one of these, like the Crystal ETH. And here you see I've got 2,924 and 0.527 ETH, and that gives me 38.61 pool tokens, right? So that could be a way that you could find out a little bit of that kind of thing, right? if 2924, let's pull up a calculator real quick. If 2924.86 gives me 38.61, then we're talking about each pool token is about 75.7 crystal. Right? However, again, Nobel, depending on what you're trying to do, I don't think I've ever needed to know that. I don't think I've ever needed that. And so your question seems a little strange to me. And I'm thinking that maybe you're trying to do something that maybe you don't need to do. So the next thing that I would say is, generally for me, and your situation might be a little bit different than mine, but generally for me, I've got a certain dollar amount that I want to put into a liquidity pool, right? And so I will come into here, and whether I have a certain amount of money in USDC or certain amount of Joule, looks like I don't have any USDC now, so let's just take Joule as an example. Let's say that I wanted to put in 10 Joule into the Crystal Ethereum pool. Then what I would first do is I would convert 10 Joule into just one of those sides, right? So 10 Joule into Crystal, and then I would get 7.3 Crystal. And then once I had that Crystal, then I would say, let's pretend that this was Crystal now. So we can say Crystal. And then I would take that however much Crystal, and I would say 50% of that is going to go into Ethereum, right? That way I can split my amount that I want to put in 50-50 into Crystal and Ethereum. And for me, that was the easiest way to not have to do some weird other math. Put all of your value into half of the pools, or the one of the tokens for the pool first, in my case Crystal, and then once you have all of the value that you want, then you can say 50% into something else there, or something else. Like let's say right here, if I said max and then 50%, let's say I didn't want to put in the maximum of 13 Crystal and divide that. Then what I would do is I'd say maximum, or I'd say 50%, which is 6.8. But if I really wanted to give something closer to 10, it means I'd have to take off 1.5 from the two different halves, right? Because I'd want to take off a total of 3, about 3 Crystal if I wanted to really put in 10. And so it means 1.5 from each of the halves. And so once I said 50% here, I would just take off 1.5 from here, which would be 5.3. And now that also reduces the Ethereum a little bit. So now when I spend this much, I'm really spending 10.6 Crystal, which would leave me about 3. And then dividing that equally to Ethereum, and then I could buy my seed from that. So did any of those explanations hit on what you're trying to do, or are you actually trying to find a calculator for some reason to find out an exact number of tokens ahead of time? If you already have them in the pool, just use the Druid to see what you already have in there. Let's see here. Yeah, and Potatoes is mentioning asking Discord stuff. Yeah, Discord has a lot of good information about things if I didn't answer your question. Yeah, that's the easy way. Let me do it that way. I'm not really good with the math. Yeah. And to me, I didn't want to mess with it any other way either. It seemed super easy to just, you know, put all of my value into one side, go ahead and do 50%. If I didn't want to use all of it, just reduce this by a little bit, 5.3, split it up between Crystal and ETH. Then I have the equal amounts, and I can go and make a seed from that, right? Okay, guys, let's see. I've been streaming for 3 hours and 24 minutes. Oh my goodness. I think I'm going to wrap this up again here. I will be streaming hopefully 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the afternoon every day. So hopefully that is going to 3 hours on Twitch, 3 hours on YouTube, every day, and that'll give you a place to catch me on either platform and all that kind of thing there too, right? So if y'all have any other questions, go ahead and ask. Otherwise, I will be back on Twitch tomorrow morning, and potatoes. If you wanted to catch me there again, you're welcome to come and hang out again. Feel free to do that. I think you've got the right link now. Make sure that you do a follow on there. And I don't know if there's something extra you have to do to turn on special notifications to get notified all the time. I think just doing a follow on my account on Twitch would be enough to be notified when I go live over there if you're interested. And then, of course, I'll be doing a YouTube stream again tomorrow as well. And I think for YouTube, since I am a little new to YouTube, one of the other things that I guess I might want to say here is oh man, I don't know how to see your channel right here. Oh yeah, here it is. Oh, but it's, since I'm the channel owner, it's not showing me the other stuff. I think for the notification bells, like if I go to Panda Pops as an example right here, then what we would want to do is we'd want to click on subscribe, and we would want to turn on the all to get notified for everything, as an example, if you were interested in being notified right away when I would go live, right? Okay, anything else? Let's see. Thanks again, Nobel, saying absolutely right, Nobel. I'm glad that you're making a little change there. I'd love to talk to you about it tomorrow and see how it went. If you can do it on your own, that would be awesome. Or if you need a little bit more help, you know, I'll be here tomorrow. You can always ask in Discord or something like that as well. Let's see. Hey, absolutely wonderful content, bro. Potato says up there in the top. Thank you very much. I'm glad you appreciate that. I'm a little different than a lot of other people, but in a way, I like that. I like that all of us content creators are a little different. I love each and every one of them, and I wish there would be more DeFi Kingdoms content in general, right? From a lot more people. So, very good. You need more love. Absolutely. Share the word. Have a good one, brother. Thank you very much, potatoes. I hope to see you around a lot more, and I do plan to kind of hook up my streaming with Discord as well, so I can have some special guests on. And so if you, or I know Sergeant Filthy McNasty has asked me to be on his stream, but I'd like to get him on my stream again. He's been on my stream once or twice already on Twitch. But yeah, I'd like to have a few more people on, and it seems like Discord is the best way to get a bunch of people live and stuff on the channel together. And I think sometimes having multiple voices on there is pretty cool also. I like those. I like the content when people are bantering back and forth a little bit. Anyway, guys, thanks for being here. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Thanks a lot, guys.